Your Humanities Half Hour is brought to you by the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.
Welcome to your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Harris, and today we are in the island of Tinian for this recorded interview, and we're here for the Tinian Hot Pepper Festival, better known as the Pika Festival, and our guest today is Bruce Blanton. He's the founder of the Tinian Teen Center, which is a new endeavor here on Tinian. Bruce, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Bruce Blanton, that sounds very American, but you actually have ties here to Tinian. Tell us about that.
Yes, my middle name is Costro. I'm from Maxilian, Familian Maxiliano, from Tinian. My mom is originally from Tinian, and I've been coming here since I was about 8 years old.
And Bruce, I have to say, when I walked up to your booth here at the festival, you were conversing in Chamorro. Your Chamorro is better than my Chamorro.
Yes, I do speak Chamorro. My mom made me speak Chamorro as a kid, even though I grew up in California, and both my grandparents didn't speak any English, so it was to help me converse with them when I came to visit.
You grew up in California. What brought you back to Tinian?
Well, I've always wanted to come back to Tinian. First time I came here, I was 8 years old, and I came back not every summer, but often in the summers. And when I was 20, I actually moved out here, and I lived out here for 3 months in a tent here at this beach, and couldn't find work, so I ended up going back to California, and then eventually moving out to Hawaii. But always knew that I was going to be coming back to Tinian.
Now, on one of your recent visits to Tinian in recent years, before you moved back this time, you saw something in the community that kind of made you feel that you might be needed here, or you might have something to offer your home island, your mom's home island. What was it you were observing at that time, and what was going on in your own life work-wise?
Well, I've been working with troubled teens for about 13 years, helping in the drug prevention realm. And I came out in 2014, and I noticed that crystal methamphetamines, also known as ice, is prevalent in the community now on Tinian. And I've seen it creep into the high schools in California and also in Hawaii. And I thought I could come out and help prevent it from getting into the schools, into the younger kids out here on Tinian.
How do you do that?
Well, I worked as a high school teacher for a year at the Tinian High School. And every day I asked the kids what it would take to prevent them from going down this road. So we kind of built the idea behind the Teen Center with their involvement and putting together their ideas into action. And that's what formed the Tinian Teen Center.
So what were these ideas that the kids had last summer, and how did you put that into making the Tinian Teen Center a reality?
Well, I started off asking them why is it that they would use drugs, and a lot of it was boredom and that they didn't have anything to do. There's not a lot of jobs offered to teenagers here to keep them busy, and so we first started off with the idea of starting a cafe, and I had purchased some equipment from Hawaii used, and came out here with the intention of opening up a cafe. And so we started off selling fruit smoothies, and fundraised money to buy paint to paint the Teen Center.
And where were you situated, for those that are familiar with Tinian?
We're directly across from the Little League baseball field. You can't miss it. It's painted green, yellow, and red, which is the color that the students chose, and it's kind of a Bob Marley theme, which is kind of ironic because Bob Marley is known for his marijuana use, but we focus on his aspect of sharing one love, and that's kind of our theme there at the Teen Center.
And so you started off with these fruit smoothies, But when I came up to your booth today and was reading some information on the center, I saw some really good menu items like Who Killed Caesar salad. Come on, that's pretty funny. So how did you get to expand your menu?
Well, we started off with fruit smoothies, and they were doing so well that the kids wanted to have some type of food, so we decided to start selling hot dogs, and then hot dogs turned into hot links. And
wait, what are hot links?
Hot links are hot dogs which are spicy.
Okay.
And then we ran into a person named Blaine Martinez from Guam, and he asked us if we would like help to make burgers and fries. So we started making cheeseburgers and fries, and then shortly after that, a person by the name of Ken Kasauran, he's used to go to high school out here. He's from the Philippines, and we teamed up with him, and he taught our students how to cook and redid the menu entirely. And that's where the Who Killed Caesar salad came about, and our famous fat burger and chica burger.
So what do you feel that the students have gained from being a part of this?
A valuable work experience. I still talk to a lot of them today that started off at the teen center and are now working in the community, and they were able to gain basic skills, customer service skills, and responsibility skills, like coming to work on time and being accountable for being at work when you're supposed to be. They got to practice that in this teen center before they actually went out there into the real world.
Now, the interesting thing about your center is a lot of people talk about having great ideas and needing grants or some kind of donation to get started. And you really are operating this almost like a business. How has that worked out for you?
Well, we are still a for-profit business, but we act as a nonprofit, whereas all the money that is made goes right back into the program. 100% of the funds goes back into the teens' pockets and back into expanding the program. So we started off with a budget, and we budgeted well. We were doing fine. We were making enough to survive, and then Ken wasn't able to make the CW cap, and so he actually moved to Saipan. And ever since then, we've been kind of dormant. I still make pizzas on the weekends once in a while, but our goal is to open back up this summer.
Now, your situation has also changed a little bit because you are, I understand, employed in Saipan, coming back on the weekend, still in support of this idea and of the community.
Yes, I do travel to Saipan on Mondays, and I work there Monday through Friday, and then I come back every Friday, and I'm at the teen center, keeping it alive, cleaning, and making sure that it's going to continue.
Well, I love the fact that you're working so hard to reopen the teen center this summer, and in fact, here at the Pika Fest, you have something very eye-catching here that is part of your efforts to get the funds needed to restart during the summer so that kids will again have something to do. When we come back, let's talk about what you're doing here and what your plans are for the future.
Okay.
We'll be back after this break.
Half a day. This is Eulalia Areola of the Northern Marianas Humanities Council. Did you know that you can donate up to $5,000 to the Humanities Council through the CNMI Education Tax Credit Program? Donations from individuals and corporations qualify and can be used to offset your local wage and salary tax, BGRT, and earnings tax. Call our office at 235-4785 to see how you can support humanities programs in our community and obtain a tax credit for your donation. Sizuus Maasi, Olomai, and thank you.
Welcome back to your Humanities Half Hour. Our guest is Bruce Blanton, the founder of the Tinian Teen Center, reaching out to the young kids here as a positive way to help them live healthy and say no to some of the negative influences here on the island. Bruce, one of the things you really emphasize is that you believe everybody has the potential to make a good choice, even at this young age. What is your philosophy in relation to this?
Well, I believe that a lot of teens, especially, are labeled as bad kids, and I set out to show them that they don't have to live by these labels that people give them, and I try and help them realize that just because they did something in the past doesn't mean that they have to continue to do it in the future. A lot of the kids that I work with have smoked marijuana, and they still do on a regular basis. But with being at the teen center in an area that they're praised for making the right choices, while they're there, they're not smoking marijuana. And if they're there every day for the summer, that means that they're not smoking marijuana every day for the summer. And we're not anti-drugs, we're just pro-health, meaning that we don't judge those that choose to smoke marijuana. A lot of the adults in our community do smoke, and I teach the kids that that's an adult decision that they get to make when they're an adult. But for right now, while they're a teen and they're still growing and developing, that if they can refrain from using any type of drug, that I'll give them a natural high, which is what the teen center is.
Now, some people would say, come on, Bruce, you need to be, you say you're not anti-drugs. Isn't that a little bit free? But do you find that this approach you're taking, which is basically just to love these kids where they're at, to really be effective in helping them make good choices?
Yes, I think so, because they see what's real. I taught drug education for a lot of years, and I followed a script, and it was very anti-drugs. And what happens is the teens that use drugs, they close off on you, and they feel that they're being attacked. So my approach is not to judge them if they are using drugs, but to give them a reason to not use it. And if it's a good enough reason, then they'll choose what they like to do better, which is being at the teen center, playing music, going to the beach on weekends, doing things that they wouldn't be able to do if they were out there getting stoned with their friends.
And you mentioned that some kids have even voluntarily made the choice to stop smoking, or like you said, not at least smoke while they're there at the teen, to basically start saying no. That's what you're seeing as a result of this.
Yes, a lot of the students that I focused on were the kids that were labeled as the bad kids, and they were smoking marijuana on a daily basis until I started working with them, and they saw that they were able to have fun and play really good music without the use of drugs. And they just naturally decided to give it up on their own. And they even celebrate when it's 30 days. They'll tell me I didn't smoke marijuana, and then that 30 days turns into 6 months, and then we're coming up on one whole year that we're really going to celebrate this healthy lifestyle choice.
Now, you said you started this center on June 3rd last year. June 3rd is also going to be an important day for you this year because you have a great raffle going on. I mentioned in the first half of the show this particular thing that you have here at your booth here on Tinian. What is this item, the grand prize that you're raffling off as a fundraiser for the teen center?
Well, first I'll tell you about June 3rd. The reason why we chose that date to open was it was the first day of summer, which is notorious for the first day that teens party, because it's the beginning of a 2-3 months long party session. So we had it as an alternative to the other parties that were going on. We threw a huge party at the teen center, which was drug-free, that a lot of teens chose to be at. So this year, in celebration of our 1 year of opening, we are raffling a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle.
And yes, there is a silent pause here, because when I saw this bike, I'm not even a biker, but when I saw this bike, I said, that's beautiful. What is it doing here? But tell us a little bit about the bike, if you don't mind.
Sure. We bought it in Guam from a person that bought it in Okinawa, Japan. And when he bought it there, they didn't allow him to register it, so it sat in his house brand new for years until he moved back to Guam. I found him online and we started talking together, and I told him what it's for. So he sold it to us, and it took months to get here. It was on a ship, and then it finally arrived in the beginning of December. And we're gonna try and sell 1,000 tickets to fundraise enough money to get us going again. Once the teen center is up and operational, it's a business that pays for itself, and also pays the kids a small stipend for the training that they do there.
And how big is the bike?
The bike is a 1600cc Softail Harley-Davidson. It retails for almost $20,000.
And then there's also some other prizes I understand that you're giving out as part of this raffle. And so one of the things we wanted to do today was provide people the contact information if they're interested in supporting the center by either donating or purchasing raffle tickets. So how can people get a hold of you?
We have an email address. It's tinianteencenter@gmail.com. And we also have a Facebook that's under Tinian Teen Center that you could contact us. Our phone was cut off. It used to be 433-TEEN here on Tinian, but we cut it off since we've closed in November.
So Facebook is a good way to find you, Tinian Teen Center. You mentioned in the first half of the show about taking 7 of the participants of the center to the Flame Tree for music performance, and they met some like-minded young people from Guam. How did that go?
Well, the band from Guam actually came here to Tinian in March of last year for the Mission Conference, and they were called A Rising Tide from Guam. And they were able to meet the band here on Tinian called A Natural High, and the students were able to connect through their music and bond while they were here. But when we went to Saipan for the Flame Tree, the students were able to make friends on the other islands as well.
Now, your vision is not just for Tinian. What is it you would ultimately like to see happen here in the Marianas?
I would like to see teen centers open up all across the CNMI, on Saipan and in Rhoda. That way the students can connect from the different islands and form these bonds to collaborate.
What do you see has been the effect of this activity or this business or this center on the students that are served?
I see a lot of positive come out of it, almost like the students are breaking out of their shells. A lot of them gain confidence, self-confidence, self-respect, and self-discipline. It's a voluntary program, so none of them have to be there. So when they get out of bed in the morning, they make that choice whether to come down to the teen center or stay in bed. And when they come to the center, it's not just hanging out, they're working. And a lot of them are dedicated. Some of the students will stay way past a late hour just working to making it nice for the next day. And it really instills this work ethic in them. It's different when you're being forced or you're doing it for the money than if you're doing it a labor of love, or happy labor they call it.
Is there anybody that has supported you or been a partner that you would like to recognize?
A lot of the parents of these students that allow their kids to be there late hours and put up with the students not being home. I really try to empower the parents to use the teen center as leverage for the students to behave at home, and I always gave them the choice to tell me that their kids can't participate in the activities that we have there, because we have a lot of fun things going on, like pool table, ping pong, and darts, and a recording studio. And if the student's not behaving at home or not doing his chores at home, I encourage the parents to tell me so that we can use the incentives as leverage. But we never had any problems like that. I was hoping that teachers as well can report to me if the students are not doing their homework, so that we can take away these incentives. But from the conversations I've had with the teachers, these students become more studious because of the teen center. We had a homework hour when the school started back up, where the students would come, and if they did their homework for the first hour, they got to play pool for the rest of the day. So they would get there right after school, sit down and do their homework. I had them log in and put down what they were studying, and they also were entered into a raffle to win a small prize like headphones or a charger for their cell phones.
Wish list. You're looking forward to opening the center for this summer. What are the top 3 things that if you could just have them, you'd love to get them?
Oh boy. Well, money makes the world go around, so that's we're really trying to establish a amount of money so that we don't have to worry about paying our bills. So by selling these tickets for the fundraiser, it'll be enough that we don't have to cut our phone line or worry about cutting off the power. But more customers, as long as the customers come in, we'll be able to stay alive. So if people come to visit Tinian, if they stop by the teen center and they want to listen to some good music that the teens provide, we did have open mics every Friday night during the summer where the kids got to play a lot of covers and originals. And I really want to see the place thrive with the arts.
Any final thoughts before we go?
Yes, if you're a teenager out there and you're smoking marijuana and society has labeled you as a stoner or as a no one, I just want you to know that you don't have to follow this label that was given to you. You do have the opportunity to change and make a choice for yourself to go down the right path. The thing I teach the kids is that we don't judge others that aren't ready. Everybody has their time, so I want it to be so when it is your time that you have a place to go where people will encourage you to continue down this healthy lifestyle path. So good luck. I know that we have ICE in our community, and sometimes it's hard to say no, but if you find that reason to say no, hang on to it and continue forward.
Well, our guest today has been Bruce Blanton of the Tinian Teen Center. If you would like to help them out by either buying a raffle ticket, remember we've got that Harley-Davidson up as a grand prize, or if you would like to reach out and see how else you might be able to help them, you can contact him via Facebook. Bruce, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too, Catherine.
And happy Pika Festival.
Thank you. Pika, pika, pika.
This has been your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Harris.
This program was supported by a We the People grant awarded to the Northern Marianas Humanities Council from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Any views, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent those of the National Endowment for the Humanities or the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.